sometimes through very indirect methods. And because he had so much faith in the dust of the feet of Vaishnavas, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri gave him a benediction that nobody else had ever gotten, except his most intimate associates. But that is for another class. That is also the place Haridas Thakur performed his lecture on the glories of the holy name in Chandpur. So it's a very, very special place. We learn from this story of Udarananda Thakur so many beautiful messages. The mercy of the Lord and how it manifests through his devotees. And that great descendant of the families of Udarananda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, how the mercy of the Lord has manifested to the world through his compassion. It is our only qualification. Without discrimination. Srila Prabhupada, literally, he fought for the rights of his devotees. He fought for the rights of everyone to get Krishna Prema. When he came to the West, and he made these, by social system, Malechas and Yavanas devotees, it's the most difficult thing to do. Very, very difficult. In fact, his godbrothers, many of them, Sumati Mararji, all these people who were very devout devotees of Krishna, they told him, it's impossible. You can't do it. These people are eating meat since birth, and they're addicted to all sinful activities, and there's no culture. How can you make them Vaishnavas? It's impossible. What to speak of Brahmin Vaishnavas, Sannyasi Vaishnavas? Out of the question. Can't do it. But Srila Prabhupada was told by his Guru Maharaj. I was just listening to a tape where Prabhupada said his Guru Maharaj specifically ordered him to spread Lord Chaitanya's teachings in the Western world. And Prabhupada understood, if I can spread it in the Western world and bring Western people back to India, then it will spread in India too. So Prabhupada had faith. That's all he had. He had a box of books, and he had faith in the words of his Guru Maharaj and the holy name of Krishna. And heart attacks and seasickness and living in the Bowery and death threats and all those austerities, and somehow or other by his unflinching determination, his inconceivable sacrifice, he transformed the hearts of so many people. No illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meat eating, chanting 16 rounds, giving up all material pursuits, and 24 hours a day serving Krishna. Amazing. But then, he was criticized for that. You're giving Brahminical initiation to Malechas? This is an offense. And one very renowned Vaishnav, when he heard about this, he very much minimized Prabhupada. He said, so what? What has he done? He's made some hippies chant Hare Krishna. So what? And we're after the Brahmins, we're after the great. So he made some hippies devotees. When Prabhupada heard he said that, he considered that a great glorification. That was Nityananda Prabhu's thing. He went to Saptagram. to make the most materialistic outcast people devotees. Jagai and Madhai. Now we'd like to hear for a few moments from NaraNarayana Prabhu something about the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much.
Hare. It's on. Hare Krishna. Coming as I do from that land of the Malacha, having taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet in that land, I had no qualification. I had no dream of qualification. I had looked here and there for answers, and I was pulled up by Srila Prabhupada. How? Because he came to me. In 1969, I'm sitting in the first temple of Los Angeles, which is not where it is today, and a young man is sitting there and raises his hands. He said, Swamiji, we did not call him Prabhupada yet. He said, Swamiji, may I ask you a question? And Prabhupada said, yes. And the young man said, I want to go to India and find a guru. Is that a good idea that I should do that? And Prabhupada said, why you should come to India to find guru? Guru has come here. So that is the descendancy from the Pancharatra of Narada Muni. That coming down is the guru. Narada showed this time and time again, that he came down and delivered Mrigari, he came down, he delivered Valmiki, and in that way, even Valmiki tied him up. He came down and delivered. So we did not have to go. So Prabhupada came to me. But now in that same place, in 1969, in that same temple, on the disappearance day of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, as Maharaj was speaking, I could not help but remember this pastime of the taste of Prabhupada Prasad that he cooked personally. And this was a very strange situation. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, disappearance day, Prabhupada kept to himself in the kitchen. And there was a pot this size, about this size. And he cooked khichdi, khichdi, more or less khichdi, very mild from urdal. And from the urdal khichdi, he cooked about that much. In the pot was like this, and he cooked about that much. And we knew there was going to be a feast for the disappearance day of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So we all were ready, full of American enthusiasm, to eat this feast. On top of it, we also knew that Srila Prabhupada had cooked it. So we all came in to Prasadam Hall, 25, 30 of us, maybe even 40 of us. A lot of very large, hungry American malachas like me, my fellow malachas. And we sat down for this feast, and everyone was sitting. There was this pot in the middle of the room. Usually Prabhupada would spend time with us, he would eat with us like that. But no, this time, his only manifestation of Srila Prabhupada was the pot sitting in the middle of the room. So we all sat there, not knowing what to think. And someone came and took our plate and put like that, because there wasn't very much. Everybody had a taste like that on their plate. And we were saying, well, this will do for starters. And we said, we're very offensive-minded people. We did not catch the subtlety until we touched it with our hands. When we touched it with our hands, we knew something had changed in the universe. In the universe, at that moment, the change was taking place around that pot in Los Angeles, California. We touched it. Everyone was looking at everyone, but no one could see anyone. They reached and they pick up this little prasad. So far, it is held like a sacred thing. We had no talent, no qualification, but we felt it. It was like a powerful feeling. We put it in our mouths. When we put in our mouths our consciousness, which is, covering every territory and looking and thinking and evaluating and wanting things, it went shoo, shoo, shoo. Not a single soul could see another single soul. We just saw grains of Erdal in our hand. We tasted. Then we reached down and we took another taste. And we reached down and took another taste. Practically there was very little to taste. It was just a few little bites. Then all at once, everybody looked up like this when it was gone. And they saw the pot in the middle of the room. And we all crawled forwards towards the pot. This is no exaggeration. We all crawled forward towards the pot. And we looked at the pot inside. And there really wasn't anything left. Just some pieces were stuck there and there. And we reached inside the pot. This is very offensive. We never ate out of the cooking pots. But no one was thinking, therefore, was there any sin committed? We reached inside the pot, one grain, another grain, like that. And nobody crowded anyone. 40 hands, 30, 40 hands came. With plenty of room to pick up 1, 2 grains. The taste was unimaginable. There was hardly any spice. Ghee, erdal, little white globs of erdal, tasting. And as we tasted it, essentially, we surrendered to everything. We surrendered to Krishna, we surrendered to Prabhupada, we surrendered to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. On top of that, we could feel or get, not by our intelligence, but by the taste, his separation from his spiritual master. We could feel these vipralambha, how much he was missing his Guru Maharaj. And there was no other feast, there was no other meal that day. And we went to bed that night full, without having really eaten any quantity. And I took one more piece, and I took it out, and I reached in my pocket, I had a piece of paper, and I put it in. And I put it in my pocket. And you know what? Prabhus, I beg you to understand this. I still have it. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Maharaj. So I'm saying this in order that Maharaj was talking about the taste, how Prabhupada's cooking. And I could never imagine. I've tasted so many things he cooked in different places. But this is all I can remember is this one taste. Hare Krishna.
You not only have that, but you have our hearts with it. Thank you very much, NaraNarayana.